Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming The Lord of the Rings Online for the first time in a while since we actually checked out the 64-bit client and the Update 24 beta, but I will finally be getting around to doing the Burglar update, which was quite a while ago from Update 23.5, so we'll be checking out the Burglar and the way they play now, and at least the blue and red line. I'm not sure if I'll get around to the yellow line. I don't think much was changed with them. But to go ahead and kind of, I guess, remember where we left off, and before I actually forget this, I am using a new microphone if you all notice any change in audio quality. Hopefully it's only for the better, because you may remember my microphone was not doing all that good last stream, and it kept cutting out kind of frequently, a lot more frequently than I'd hope. I'd hope it never cuts out during a stream, but yeah, I got a new one, and that's kind of, I was planning on doing this a couple days ago, but I wasn't able to because of that. So this one's a blue snowball ice. It was whatever the cheapest blue snowball one was. I know they have quite a few different ones, but I went with the cheaper option, and it seems okay so far. This is the first thing I'm actually doing with it, and that's kind of why I dragged this on for a while. And we do have a comment here from Ryan Harris, and he says, "What do you do if I start to get bored of the game? You've had burnout and left a month ago and thinking about coming back, and annoyingly, you play on Anor, so you need VIP." Yeah, I've had some burnout with LOTRO. One thing that helps me personally is that I do like stream and do YouTube with it, so it is kind of a side effect. Just doing that helps keep me from getting burnt out. But yeah, sometimes I still do get it. I'm having a little bit low FPS here. It could just be Mordor. I wonder if my settings... I was using the 64-bit client. This is my first time back on the regular one, and it looks like I still have all my stuff like on ultra high. Where they should not be. So I'll lower that. I think in Mordor sometimes I need to go even lower. The main thing I care about is texture detail. But yeah, that's definitely annoying about playing on Anor, because you do need to be VIP. But I guess a good thing with that is you could subscribe just while you play and then otherwise unsubscribe. So kind of what I want to do before I actually get to fighting anything is just review the patch notes, because I kind of don't remember what was going on. So I believe you all... Oh, you all cannot see this. I also fixed OBS. It's working again, so I can actually do this, maybe. There we go. So this is just the patch notes page, and for some reason I cannot resize this window from the bottom. There we go. But yeah, we have the Burglar rework here, which is a lot of this stuff. We have increased damage output. They have fixed some structural issues with their skills, improved survivability, and streamlined some of their play. So all that stuff should just be smoother for the gameplay. And yeah, damage increase, and then shuffle skills to put more skills in appropriate range of DPS. So kind of all the priorities are probably different now. One thing before you all should, yeah, Surprise Strike here, you can barely see it, I'm hovering over it. That skill used to be horrible, even though it was kind of, I think, advertised as a main skill for burglars, especially Redline. That was horrible before. I don't know if it still is, but hopefully not. And then the range increased, and now a lot of them are, the animations, their execution time should be kind of similar, and maybe even faster, it sounds like, but their skills are no longer branded as fast, they're just like regular. And then you do have like actual fast skills like Subtle Stab, which is supposed to be fast. That one's right here. Can't really see my skill bar because my, whatever that thing is called, toolbar maybe? That thing at the bottom of the screen is blocking it, but anyway, we have that, and Double Edge Strike is immediate, so if I hover over that one, it'll be immediate and cancel whatever animation I'm going through. What else do we have here? We have a lot of more specific changes. I don't know, I guess I can kind of go through them a little bit more in detail here. So we have Provoke. That one is now a 15-meter range. What is Provoke? This is Provoke. So that's a 15-meter range now, and then it looks like it reduces damage from the next hit you take and improves crit chance by 20%. So it looks like this would be a rotational type skill because it just increases your crit chance, gives you a little bit of a buff. I think the red line would like that, at least. I think I'm spec'd in the blue line right now, though, which the blue line also got pretty significantly changed, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the next thing we have here, yeah, Provoke, the changes with that, it does a stacking buff for that halves the damage of the next attack against you. I think that is changed from the beta patch notes. That one specifically, I thought in beta it gave you like a 90% or even mitigated all damage by the time you fully stacked it, but that'd be like, it'd be pretty close. It'd be, what would it be? Like 90-ish? Almost 90% damage at 3 stacks though, which is quite significant still. If you do that 3 times, you won't be taking much damage. So it definitely seems like a good solo skill, just for also getting the crit chance increase and also, you know, decreasing the damage you take. And then it didn't say, it wasn't like supposed to do this, but it used to actually penalize your party's crit chance against the target. It was supposed to, I think, decrease enemy crit chance is the way it was supposed to work, but it didn't really work right. So Mischievous Glee now heals 10% of max health. I am thinking that's a yellow line thing. It could be blue line even. Let's see if I have it. Not there. And then if I can search here, yeah, it might be just a yellow line thing. I wonder if it looks like I already have the spec set up. I might have to respec these anyway, so we'll go ahead and respec the red line one. That's probably what I ended up playing first. But yeah, Mischievous Glee is a yellow line thing, so it did get some sort of change. Moving on, we have Self-Flagellation, now adds 20% to Clever Retort Healing. Don't know what that is. We can go ahead and spec in this just to see. Oh, that's probably, yeah, that's going to be a yellow line thing. So more healing, it sounds like, or more consistent healing also. And the yellow line, maybe both. And then we have the AoEs for Double Edge Strike and Flashing Blade. Should be pretty noticeable. I hope to actually notice that when we get to the gameplay finally. Coup de Grace no longer has a critical magnitude bonus, but it does better base damage. That used to be a skill that could almost one-shot at least mobs before Mordor. We'll be testing in Mordor, because that's where I last left off when we were doing the Burglar testing before the update and talking a bit about that patch. So, oh, I don't have that. I know I get it somewhere. There it is. So yeah, that used to do a lot of damage. I don't really recognize what the exact numbers. If it's still a lot, we'll have to actually kill stuff and see what that's going to be a lot of this. For kind of the exact effects with how they change stuff. And that's really everything, just because of their general fix with the Burglar's output and changing animations and a lot of stuff like that. We'll have to actually do the gameplay to see, which I'm trying to get to, but I do want to go over these changes. So Feint allows you to trigger more stealth effects. I think that's really good, and bonuses, but it still doesn't provide the True Stealth's melee damage bonus, which I guess would be you don't see the damage bonus here, but I would get it, I think, from speccing more into the red line and traits from that. It gets up to like 100% increased damage from stealth, so you want to get that, basically. Yeah, you'll have lots of relearning to do with the blue line Burglar. That one changed, I think, the most significantly for how actual gameplay will change. And I think it will be more fun, and I also just kind of got used to all the old specs because I was doing the testing, so I could actually give a somewhat informed opinion when we got to this, because I just wanted to familiarize myself with how blue and red line played. So now that I know the old ways, I'll have to also relearn these new ways. So yeah, Knives Out was changed pretty significantly. It actually has a Force Taunt now, and gives you damage reduction. It mitigates all forms of incoming damage instead of just melee damage. And it looks like it mitigates all damage by 85%. I think this was a change from the beta, probably, to mitigate all forms of damage by 85% now. So yeah, that's kind of strong that you can just use that Force Taunt and mitigate and not really take too much punishment from it, because you are getting all that reduced incoming damage. I don't know. I'm sure it will find some way. If you're like just simply playing a Burglar in a raid, just do that to get some threat off the tank real quick, could be useful. You could even, if there's a particular fight with ads or multiple bosses that need to be off, and you can kind of maybe off tank with something like that. I don't know. It does have the aggro dump right after though, which, you know, might not be too effective for that, but just kind of thinking about that a little bit. It has a lot of utility, I guess, with that. But moving on, we have Cunning Strike, which was reworked a bit. I believe the cooldown is shorter, maybe longer, but the bleed duration is a lot shorter, which is kind of scary because cunning attack used to do a lot of damage, and I think also the bleed stacking is simplified, so you have the base one, the crit one, the devastating one, and the stealth one now, and that is it. And you can put all those different types on, but you can't stack one of the same, it sounds like. So yeah, the bleed duration reduced, and they non-stacking for different magnitudes, and yeah. Gambles have been substantially reworked, which is basically the blue line. You now have 3 gambles, I believe, and you can have one of each type on a target simultaneously. You have a Gambler Strike, Hedge Your Bet, and Blind Bet, so those are the 3 ones. I think they're called like red, green, and blue is what somebody might have called them. Okay, I always worry. I was just like looking at my YouTube page and it suddenly froze, but it looks like the stream's okay. But whenever that happens, I worry. Yeah, it looks like it was trying to play at 1080p on the dashboard for some reason. But anyway, we can go ahead and get back on topic with this. So yeah, the blue line's been changed quite a bit. You now have your gambles can't be tiered up or down. You just roll a value whenever it's applied, and that's what you get. So it's a lot simpler that way, and I think that's kind of with the streamlining gameplay part. Stealth Surprise Attack will apply a random gamble. I don't remember that being a thing in the beta, so that's kind of new to me. That's kind of interesting. And then the gambles last, I think, longer. I don't remember them lasting 30 seconds, but lasting 30 seconds is definitely a good thing, you know. They can last a while. And then Cash Out will now consume all gambles and grant different effects for whichever gamble you have on them. So you have kind of the red, what did I call them earlier? Red, blue, green. I guess you could call it like red, blue, yellow. I don't know. But the damaging and then healing and then kind of a utility one. You get the high damage, high magnitude damage effect, a heal over time, and a stun from those 3 gambles. And then gamble icons have been changed. And gambles are per target and not per burglar now, so you can't really compete that well with the burglars. And in addition to that, I totally skipped over this line that Cash Out's cooldown is 40 seconds, so that's a pretty long cooldown. It's a every once in a while type skill, it sounds like, maybe once per fight if my damage is still low. Finally, we had Subtle Stabs cooldown reduced, and Gamble Chance mods have been changed to Gamble Damage mods. So yeah, that is the Burglar update from the patch notes. Okay, we got through that pretty quickly. And now we are actually ready to do some gameplay testing, I suppose. So I'll go ahead and put some points here in the red line. I'm not too sure what is going to be totally viable without actually playing anything. So I still don't think I will want much of stealth bonuses, just because you can hardly be stealth during a fight, and that's what I care about. At least at this point. Maybe at lower levels you do a lot more damage from your initial burst from stealth, but I don't really feel that effect with my burglar, so we'll see. We want crit chance, and I don't know if the crit chance from stealth, if we get that benefit with feint attack, because this enables your stealth benefits, but not the raw damage. So I'm not sure if this specific trait would be affected. I would not get that trait at all if it is not affected, but if it is, I would definitely want all 6 points in that. That's something I will either have to find out more about. And positional damage, I can't really work that in while solo. That is definitely something I want in a group. Do I want that stun? Why not? Definitely want that for the CC, actually. It's pretty nice. Flashing Blades, that'll be a nice AoE for us. Shorten cooldown for aim and fine footing. I'll go ahead and put a point in that. I'm kind of assuming, based on the way this rework works, that this would actually, you know, kind of work. It would actually increase your crit chance and crit damage when you use feint, but I'm just not too sure on that. Hips cooldown, I don't care too much about. Trip, can go ahead and put a point in that. So we might as well, I think, go ahead and put more points in this, since I am assuming it actually works now. That's plus 100% damage from stealth. Again, I don't care about that raw damage too much, but just having that double damage for only 1 trait point isn't too bad. So we'll go ahead and cap that out. And if I were actually doing group content where I could stay behind mobs, I would definitely get backstab here. But I think that is it. I don't care too much about hips. That would be useful if I was dying a lot, which hopefully will not be the case anymore. So I think from here I would go, it looks like I still have something searched. We can go ahead and undo that. From here, I would probably go into the blue line. I'm not sure how useful the blue line is for the red line burglar anymore, but you have a lot of stuff that I think will be beneficial. The main thing from the yellow line I would really like is heartening prank, just to get some more morale and the mitigation and the stun, it looks like. Oh, you have to remove a trick for that stun, so yeah, not as interested in that type of stuff. So I'd probably just go in the blue line. There's not much here. Get the evade chance. Kind of in a way acts similar to morale, but not really. So yeah, that is how this ended up with the few trait points I have. I only have 50 on this character. That's very low for level 106. And the next thing I guess I have to talk about is my gear. I'm using the exact same gear I logged off on before the update with my burglar. So nothing has changed as far as that goes. My LI is not that good, but it is okay for my level. I definitely like it to be a bit more, and I could almost, I think, like get 2.5 times damage out of it with Starlit Crystals, but fortunately this character is actually low level, so it is not as important, at least relatively low level, just starting Mordor compared to like level 115 when it'd be necessary to have like double damage basically on the LI. And then I do have some new gear pieces, but I won't equip them yet. These are just Matham Hunter's armor. I had a lot of these in my vault. This is all from my shared storage. I figured I'd go ahead and use it on this character. So I guess the first thing we can do is kill a signature, or at least try to, because why not? So the old way I would do this is do coup de grace here with aim like I did. And I just get stunned. So I'm fighting 2 mobs right now. I didn't even look at my skills. I don't know what's going on. I should have looked at my skills a little bit more, but I can tell you I am killing a lot faster. That much is immediately apparent to me just pressing these random things. I gotta remind myself what these skills do though. Right now they do damage, I can tell that much. I also don't have my damage showing. I need to fix that. Okay, turn floating damage back on. Okay, so we have Surprise Strike here. That does really small amount of damage. Cunning Attack, that does more damage actually than Surprise Strike. Okay, so Feint Attack. So Feint Attack enables all the stuff. So, oh, it actually does say bonus damage, crit chance, and critical damage from stealth are not activated by this skill. So yeah, I would actually not want Strike from Shadows. Those are basically 6 wasted trait points. They're a little bit okay. I wouldn't say completely wasted, but they're not things. That's just, if I could take points out of that, I would definitely want to, so we might respect that in a moment. And then Subtle Stab is going to be really quick now. It does pretty weak damage, a little bit less than Surprise Strike, which makes sense this time. And then Provoke, that is the one that increases crit chance by 20% and does more. Or, yeah, it does more damage if he's from stealth, but it decreases the damage I take by half, and then that effect stacks. Here's Knives Out with the taunt, so we didn't really, I don't think we did much AoE in that fight. I know I'm just like right here in Mordor, this is always, it's just really simple to go to for Mood and Foothold, but yeah, my very initial impressions is that it was better. So now if I actually AoE, I don't know why my floating damage isn't showing again. Where's my thing? Yeah, that'll get rid of my disarm. It's also been a while since I played LOTRO. But yeah, these attacks are doing AoE, it's just my damage numbers aren't actually showing, and I probably would have died. Like, I am dying now, but I probably would have died. I'm also not using my stun or anything, but in the past I would have died. I was trying to kind of go through that fight without using my stun just to see if I could do it. And I think blue line will be a bit more survivable, so let's go ahead and get my floating damage up, because that is really bothering me. My floating damage? Oh, I didn't. Okay, I might have unchecked both of those on accident. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and do a little bit more red line, I suppose. Oh, I'm actually ready to turn in a quest, or at least finish that part maybe. Okay, so if I just try this again, I want to see the actual damage numbers come up. Okay, so that just one-shot the green mob, so that's good to know that that still works for that at least. So one thing I'm curious on is Gambler's Advantage. I don't think in AoE that would be better than Double-Edged Strike, but it looks like in any sort of longer fight, just because of the bleed, it's going to overall do more damage. But yeah, we can go ahead and do some more fights here and test this stuff out a little bit. And I would guess that Cunning Strike is still going to be a skill I want to use a lot. I notice Subtle Stab is really quick now, and I can just use Coup de Grace there. Yeah, it seems pretty good. I feel like I'm killing a lot faster. Unfortunately, the Burglar just in general is a class I'm less familiar with, so I'm having trouble with the exact details. If I use Double-Edged Strike, that actually did a ton of damage with the crits. I probably have a lot of critical damage bonuses as a Burglar because these actual damage numbers on the icons are really tiny and it kind of worried me. But yeah, my actual critical magnitude, I am guessing, is really high from different things. I have that stealth, all the stealth bonuses that increase my damage there, so I was doing like double damage from that. I have like critical and devastating critical damage here. Not too much outside of stealth. So I'd have to actually test that. I can test that out of stealth right now. Yeah, it does about half as much damage. So the burst from stealth looks pretty significant. I'm not really sold on Surprise Strike, that still seems really weak. I really like the effect of this being immediate. I don't know if you all can tell it too much, but if I use it right after another skill like I did Cunning Attack there, it's pretty good. I just got Leaf Walker done, that's probably using stealth. Yeah, using your sneak skill. I have a few of these close to done. Okay, so where is a tougher mob? Let's kill the signature. But yeah, I definitely am killing faster. I think I keep saying that, but it's just because it is true. And it looks like that same opening is still like viable. It seems like I'm basically doing the same stuff. I wonder if using Feint Attack, if that would actually make Surprise Strike a little bit more viable seeming. Like, I'm kind of just using Surprise Strike as a filler. I was kind of hoping they would rework it so that it was a bit better. So yeah, if I just attack, yeah, it's only doing 1500 damage there, and that was without aim, I know. Seems like Coup de Grace, that cooldown must be a lot shorter. I'm like just able to use that a lot more. Yeah, it's down to 30 seconds. I really like opening there with Double-Edged Strike. That seems to do a lot of damage. It might be the best thing to open with stealth from, unless Cunning Attack maybe in a longer fight type situation. Now I can get the AoE. It's really weird having AoE with Burglar as well. Like, I was able to hit the extra mob there with the AoE. I'm still taking a lot of damage. So I think at this point I'll switch to blue line. But yeah, my survivability, at least in red line, I don't know if it's necessarily unchanged. I'm not dying, but I think that's an effect of me actually killing the mobs. So it used to be that I would sit there so long trying to kill the mob that they would just kill me. Not necessarily that my survivability was horrible, which it's not great, of course. I only have like 30k morale, but I'm less familiar with the numbers at this point, but that seems really low, and I know my gear is not the greatest. Even for level 106, it's not the best, but got some improvements here. We'll go ahead and test out those improvements after I do a little bit of the blue line here. So the blue line's going to be a lot different. That is pretty much all I have to say going into this. So we have Provoke here. I don't know if that will be as useful in the blue line. So we have, what do we have to apply stuff? This applies a green gamble, red. So it is actually green, red, and blue, I believe. Hold up, there's the blue gamble. So the blue one reduces offensive ability, and the green one, yeah, heals. And the red one, I think the red one will just be a bleed, if I remember correctly. That's what it used to do, at least. So let's attack a mob with some of this stuff. I don't know what to use from stealth also on this line. Oh yeah, Double Edge Strike is an AoE in this spec as well. I actually got the stun from Exposed Throat on him. Taking a lot of damage. I know I have a lot of mobs on me. I believe Blue Line in general should be more survivable. Where's Cash Out? That's what I want to use there. Oh no, I died. Well, I died first with the Blue Line. I don't know if that's to say it's worse. I don't know how to play Blue Line. Trying to test too much stuff, I guess, in the middle of a fight would be kind of that. So I want to try to get the stun here. Oh, I have another mob hitting me. The other mob's hitting me because I AoE'd it, actually. One drawback of the AoE is you hit a mob that wasn't fighting you, so I think I can actually restore the morale. I'm kind of actually figuring out what I want to press right now a little bit better. But yeah, we get the healing from evading Bob and Weave there. I actually don't have the improved heal over time. The heal over time is really weak. I'm not sure if those 5 trait points would help too much with that. But yeah, that heal over time is going to be nice. I think they nerfed it actually in this update, or at least a recent update. And then touch and go would really help with morale restoring. So a few different things I guess I could have done to not die there, basically, upon review. And Cash Out, that's another one I wanted to test. That is a 30-second cooldown. I wonder if something reduced the cooldown with that. Resets the recovery time on several skills. I assume like hide in plain sight, touch and go, stuff like that. And then All In is a really nice buff, and I think it'll still be worth using basically on cooldown. I just wish I had room for Provoke on my skill bar, but I don't know if I would really use that, so this should be good. The kind of setup I have here to actually kill some mobs. So we'll go ahead and apply the debuff, go into stealth. I don't know what to use from stealth. I think I just mentioned that. I think Surprise Strike applies a gamble when used from stealth. So there it provided a green gamble. Wait, a portion is returned to the attacker. On any damage return, 3% of damage. So I restore 3% of the damage I do. Not too much, but it is enough to kind of help heal along with Bob and Weave. More survivability in general than the other specs. So that might actually be the way to open from Blue Line. Let's see what this other gamble does. So that's the damaging one. Ooh, the damaging one looks a lot weaker than it used to be. I don't know if that's necessarily a problem. Actually, Tier 5 is way stronger than Tier 3. Wow, Tier 3 was pretty bad. Yeah, I'm just like stacking gambles and pressing buttons, it looks like. I think the gameplay makes more sense than it used to. I really didn't like that you could only have one gamble on the enemy at a time. So let's go ahead and Cash Out here. Oh, I didn't get the stun. I didn't have the blue gamble on him. Oh well, I got the heal. What did the Cash Out healing do? Not Bob and Weave. I didn't actually see what it did. Maybe I didn't have a green gamble on him either. But I'll go ahead and wait a second for Cash Out's cooldown. I think that'll be similar to Coup de Grace, kind of just the way it's used. You know, your big, somewhat longer cooldown skill, only 30 seconds. At least with my trait setup, but yeah, we'll use All In and try to do everything and get a nice Cash Out on this mob and see how that goes. So I will actually just open up here with 5 so I get that gamble going. What does Hedge Your Bet do now? Oh, that's the green gamble. If I open my crit chain, I can get some more gambles. Okay, so now let's Cash Out and get all these effects. So yeah, now he's stunned. I'm disarmed, of course. But yeah, now he's stunned. We got the... I didn't see what the immediate damage does. I need to look at my combat log for that. I'd have to actually do like a Cash Out with that. I actually like that Blind Bet is a little bit more viable than Exposed Throat. It also does more damage, so I think I will actually slide that over. Become a slightly higher priority to use. So yeah, use that, use 5, and I want to use Cash Out real quick. I did not see like a big damage number. I'd expect Cash Out to do a lot of damage. I'm guessing Cash Out's effect is tied to the tier of the gamble. So if we look back at this, Cash Out consumes granting a high magnitude base cooldown of 40 seconds. Gamble It doesn't say necessarily, but I assume the cash out effect is based on the tier of the gamble. It might not be, it might just be based on the fact that you have the gamble and it's kind of a base amount. It would be extra gambly, kind of more thematic if it does. It would be slightly more annoying gameplay wise. I don't know why my chat log's like way down there. But anyway, it is. It's also like, I feel like my whole UI kind of is messed out. Messed up. I don't know why. I don't know why I just like noticed that. I might have to look back at one of my old videos just to compare. So I have all the gambles on them. Oh no, I used the wrong skill there. I meant to do that. So we'll go all in and cash out. The nice thing with cash out is you can quickly reapply the gamble, so it's not like a huge loss as far as that goes. Wow, the tearing up on Gambler's Advantage is actually kind of significant now. Let's see what tier 3 does. 16, so the tier 3 isn't as big, I would say, of a boost, but it's still like, that's just a lot stronger skill than it used to be. The dot on that is really significant now. Gambler's Advantage seems strong. I should get, if I ever actually remember, I will actually get combat analysis to test the actual DPS with this stuff. Might as well do some quests here. I'm just like randomly walking around the zone killing things, but might as well get a quest progress if I see something for that, on the off chance that I can complete something and get some XP from it. But yeah, the Mordor gameplay in the blue line is definitely smoother. I would say I'm surviving better in the blue line. It's a lot more involved. Blue line will just be more involved. You don't necessarily have to think about it too much more, I don't think, but it will be helpful to. Okay. Okay, so once again, I did not see even the odds mastery. I have no idea how I gained the mastery buff, even the odds. Oh, there we go. So the skill Double Edge Strike may grant you a random buff when used on a target with an active gamble. Okay. Well, that one gave me physical mastery, so that was a good random buff. So yeah, I feel like Mordor, I meant to just mention this, but I was just about to talk about it. I don't know if I actually did before I got distracted with that, but Mordor definitely feels, oh yeah, I did talk about this. Just trying to repeat myself here. But yeah, Mordor feels definitely better. And I was talking about how the blue line, it feels better in the blue line. And the red line, I want to go back to. I think I'll equip my new gear and see how much of an effect that has. But the blue line I want to go, or the red line I want to go back to. And that was kind of the point with combat analysis that would help me actually see the change from this. But to see what gear I have a Matham Hunter's piece, and I already have a Matham Hunter's armor piece equipped. For some reason, the other one is 4 item levels higher. I think it was kind of before they changed the Matham Hunter's armor. That one might actually be more useful, the one I have equipped. And then the shoulder pads, I would not consider an upgrade. They have a lot of defensive stuff, but I don't care as much about that, and I'd lose quite a bit of physical mastery. Although I'd gain a ton of morale. I feel like I need the morale, so we'll go ahead and equip that. That's like, yeah, 3k morale. So that was pretty significant for the morale, I think, and not too much overall physical mastery loss. Those essences aren't that great. The pocket item, it's an upgrade in vitality, slight downgrade in agility. I would say slightly better secondary stats where it's enough worth equipping. I do lose a little bit of finesse though. These gloves are significantly better. Okay, all that, now I can check out. Ooh, I have a fine Matham Hunter's armor here. I would say the shoes are the most useful. I might as well go ahead and use the fine one. I don't see a reason to really be saving it at this point compared to the other ones. These ones actually have different stats, the incomparable. Here, they had different ones than the fine. I would expect them to have the same stats, just different values for them. Like, this chest piece is really good from that box. And then I believe the hat would be an upgrade, but I don't know if I want to use like my last box. on that. So I gained like 9k morale from that. Huge upgrade in morale. I should have actually seen what my physical mastery was before. That's something I definitely meant to do. I gained maybe 20% or so. Oh yeah, so these two pants. I'm missing something. Maybe that? I was just at like 39k morale. Oh, the shoes? No, I have no idea what happened, but I was just at like 39k morale and now I'm down to 36.6k. I don't know if I did something to affect that. That's kind of what I'm wondering. I equipped everything, I believe. Oh, the shoulder pads, that's what it was. Okay. But yeah, the physical mastery upgrade from that was pretty nice. So we can kind of just run around here. There's not much else to see as far as the landscape with this, but you get a little bit of a change of scenery, I guess. Don't have to stay in the same spot. Though I made it quite a bit out of the Udon foothold area. I think this spot should have some mobs, theoretically. Yeah, here's some orcs. Okay, so with the gear upgrades, if we just do surprise strike, apply the gamble. Cash out there, once again, was pretty weak, only like 2.8k damage. And that was with the consumption, right? Let's see, cunning attack, that just did 4.8k. I know that one was pretty big. So cash out alone did 2.8k. I wonder what the cash out payout, that must be the one that consumes the red. It's a payout of cash out, which only did 1k damage. That's kind of not too significant. Like, cash out itself does a lot more damage than the consumption, which I would kind of hope would be the opposite even. That the cash out damage, the payout version of that, would be a lot more than the raw cash out damage. Completed something to accept the quest at least. But yeah, I feel like this has been kind of quick. I can run warg pins. I know I did that with my Bjorning. That's actually kind of what one of the things I meant to do with this is I wanted to run warg pins. Oh, I don't have a red gamble on him. He died anyway. I just noticed like I used cash out with that, but yeah, I can go to warg pins. That'll be something good and something easy for me to compare to other classes and how they perform with how this will now. Just because I'm really familiar with it. Okay, so I think I will play Redline maybe for a couple more kills here. Just re-familiarize myself with that, then we can switch off to warg pins. Kill mobs really fast with, I think, that kind of flow of coup de grace, then double-edged strike, then flashing blades. Just a lot of strong burst damage. And then in a fight where I'm less prepared, I expect to kill quite a bit slower, which looks like it will be the case. Using a lot more filler type skills that just don't do as much from like the initial burst, especially with the aim. So yeah, we can go ahead and swap over, I think, to warg pins. Kind of reminded, I'm not really focusing on these quests, but I'm reminded why this zone was super annoying to do. Questing wise, kind of the idea of the zone was really appealing to me at first, but then I had a similar issue with Northern Mirkwood. It just got way too much with no progress. But that is not the point of this video or this stream. Okay, so now we're in warg pins. And we can just test it right off the bat here. In Redline, use double-edged strike there. I think flashing blades, I'm going to try that with aim. Yeah, that just like... That was a satisfying AoE because it's like 3 targets and that's what they do. I feel like I'm not applying cunning attack enough. And I also gotta remember that I can quickly animation cancel something like Surprise Strike with Double Edge Strike. I'm taking a significant amount of damage, which should be expected. I am running this at 106. It would be a lot easier at 105. But yeah, that first fight, a little bit scary how quickly I was dying. Just to compare, my Bjorning could fairly easily, I would say, solo this even in DPS spec. And being squishy is just kind of, I think, the same thing with my Bjorning, but he was able to survive it still. Which in the red line, I believe, would actually Nature's Mend. Is that what that skill's called? Whatever the heal is you have, it was pretty effective. But to get back to Burglar here, I'll go ahead and do a little bit better opening sequence here. I think I will actually use Gambler's Advantage because that does a lot of damage from the bleed. Then I'd like to save my... I'm actually going to use Knives Out and start taking a lot less damage here. Feeling like blue line would be killing a lot faster right now, to be honest. It might not be, but I just feel like I'm kinda... I feel kinda slow. I don't know if you all think that as well. Yeah, I'm about to die. I'd rather not use... Oh, I do have a potion. That's what I can use. I'll go ahead and use my stun since I'm going to switch to the blue line, and he died anyway. So yeah, that was a bit sketchy. It did have 2 signatures, and I didn't use Riddle or anything like that, so that wasn't the biggest deal. I have my 8-year gift box. Got some Orange Star fireworks. I don't know why I just randomly opened that, but I saw it and I know I needed to. That cloak looks a lot like a Lothorian cloak of the Woodland realm, so that kind of makes sense that it would be a little bit Lothorian. I think it's supposed to be like Woodland, more like Bjorning, the wood people there. I don't know if the dyes make too much sense. They're changing something. It's, the Autumn Leaf actually works. I don't know if I'd actually use that. It kind of has annoying pigtails or whatever at the bottom right and left, but yeah, that kind of works for a Lothorian-esque type cosmetic, which is the first thing I thought of when I saw it. But anyway, we can move on back to the actual Burglar update here. And I'll do the same thing here, fight 2 mobs without doing any sort of CC, just kind of go in and fight them in the blue line here, so it's a pretty fair comparison, and I still will stun them. I should actually probably use Reveal Weakness. I've heard it's actually a useful skill to use. Okay, so I think we're good for cash out. I do have another mob on me, so I will riddle that one. The other mob is stunned. That must be, yeah, that was the one I had the actual gambles on. So I am surviving better, I would say, at this point. I'd really like to use another cash out right now, though, but I don't think I'll be able to. I have a really nice tier 4 damaging gamble on him. I think that killed him pretty quickly just because I had the tier 4. That one did 2.3k is what I was taking. I don't know if that is what killed him so quickly, but that's what it seemed like to me at least. So yeah, we have this mob. We can go ahead and go about applying all our gambles on him real quick and then doing a quick cash out. I think at that point, yeah, all in will be back up, and hopefully we don't have to use a cooldown. I really feel like blue line is just... It feels better than red line. I think red line should do more damage, and maybe it does in like longer fights or something, but it feels like blue line is doing a lot more damage right now. And just killing mobs a lot more efficiently. It could also be, maybe I wasn't playing the red line right. I know I wasn't using Reveal Weakness. So this is an AoE fight. I feel like this would be better with red line, but we can do the next one maybe with red line. Oh, this is not an AoE fight. This is back to single target. So we'll go ahead and take a minute to reorganize. Get Cunning Attack going, then quickly Gambler's Advantage, move on. We already have Double Edge Strike. I can get a stun. I have an Interrupt, I know that. I don't know where it is though. Do I even have it on my bars? Like, oh, there it is. Addle. Okay, we can go ahead and cash out. We have a lot of stuff on him. Quickly reapply some stuff. I do want to look at the combat log just because I want to see This is where having combat analysis would be quite helpful, but payout, only 1.1k again. And I had a tier 5 damaging gamble on him, so I would hope that it does more damage, but it doesn't. It's just not really the case. I just wish it was more of a cash out effect, basically. At least for the damaging part, the other one seemed pretty decent. I don't know what the heal is doing. That is a good thing to think about. 1.7k, so yeah, that's also not too significant. You know, if they make that too much, though, it could be overpowered. I could see that, but just some of my thoughts. So here we need to kill the warg first. Well, I guess cash out takes me out of stealth. But yeah, we want to kill the warg first, and here I actually want to, okay. I was gonna say I actually want to use my AoE. I know I have my interrupt and I totally missed it, but this mob we can not huddle. We want to riddle. But yeah, the reason redline basically would be great here is because you get the extra AoE with flashing blades. I'm gonna get the healing gambles. So healing gamble is 3. I need to reorganize my skill bar. That would probably help. So we'll go ahead and use touch and go here and that and heal on up. I have a tier 6 hedge your bet, so that's pretty significant. Healing 6% of the damage I deal instead of 3%, so twice as much of an effect from that. But yeah, I just kind of realized my skill bar is actually pretty disorganized here. I think I'll go ahead and stun him and go about this. It's Gambler's advantage up to only tier 1. It's probably all we need at this point. I can just go. Okay, now we can cash out. So yeah, blue line pretty smooth single targets. We'll try red line for that AoE fight, which I did struggle a bit more, I would say, with blue line. Okay, just waiting for my morale to restore. I do have some food. So my UI, for some reason, these should be like at the bottom right here. I don't remember if there's a reason. I don't think there's a reason. I had them floating like that. I kind of just noticed that, and that's why it was bothering me for a moment there. Like, not everything's completely in the corner like it should be. Okay. I think that's better, but it looks weird now. Maybe I got used to it the other way. Anyway, we can go on now. My morale is restored. So I think I would actually start this fight with aim and use double-edged strike, get the AoE from that. And then I can just use flashing blades, and that mob is basically dead. Quick subtle stab, and then I totally missed that, but double-edged strike again, flashing blades again. Using those two skills, that's how it used to be before. You wanted to highly prioritize those two skills. They were kind of your strongest two skills. And it still seems to be the case. Oops, I guess I was just going about my business and pulled these two mobs. Oh, I died. I was trying to actually survive that, but I think I just, well, took too much damage, but didn't get him dazed in time and kited quickly enough that I could actually use my potion and maybe restore some morale. Can use that. That almost gave me 2k morale, which makes sense. I don't know why, I just wasn't expecting a little boost from that to give me that much. Okay, so we can actually kill this mob in red line now that I think we're a little bit more practiced with the burglar here, I would say. I feel like I'm not using cunning attack as much as I used to, which could just be a problem with me and not necessarily the burglar change. But in a way it kind of feels weaker to me, and that might be because I'm not using it. Like maybe if I actually used it like I should, it would be doing a lot more damage. Oh, I can use control 1 and not take much damage. Way too late on that. I know I started those fights kind of unprepared, but I still feel like I'm dying easier in red line, but I feel like I'm also playing it worse at the same time. So yeah, I just feel like in general blue line is a little bit more, I don't know, just better for me to play at least. I'm enjoying blue line more, which I kind of expected. But at the same time, yeah, I think that's better. I need to look at cunning attack in more detail though. That seems to actually do a decent amount of damage. Does 1.1k every 2 seconds, so after like 10 seconds that would be 5 takes 5k. It's definitely not weak, but I feel like a lot of the numbers on the icons are smaller than the actual damage I'm doing. Just because I guess a lot of the burglar effects you get. So yeah, we'll switch back to redline. I need to play this one a little bit more. I'll actually riddle that guy. Oh, he resisted it. That's not good. Well, I guess that's just on cooldown now. Can't really do anything else. That has a 1 minute cooldown now? I wonder if that's just because he resisted it. I thought it was a 30-second because you could kind of spam it. But anyway, we can just try and go about this fight as if that didn't happen. And I do have my cooldowns I can use. So we'll go ahead and use touch and go here. And I think also use a potion. Now have aim just in time for flashing blades, and now I can stun this mob and I think kind of quickly take care of him. I really like the dot from Gambler's Advantage, but double-edged strike is pretty strong. So maybe that isn't worth using at all. Surprise Strike actually had a decent crit there with aim. I know it hits really weak when it's just like a regular hit, even with feint attack, but with aim, at least with the crit, it was significantly stronger. Oh, they're just gonna see me. Might not be able to do this. I'm gonna have to definitely riddle that one. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to stun this one. Well, I'm about to die. Got that much going for me, I guess. Oh, I do have stun dust. I don't know why I haven't been using that, or why it's not with my other stuns. I don't know if I can get out of range where he won't kill me, yeah. Seems to just get harder to survive in those situations compared to blue line, which has the healing and the gambles. Well, the healing with the gambles and the stun effects you can easily produce. Even exposed throat has a higher chance to stun. So just easier to get out of those tricky situations compared to the red line. But yeah, I'll go ahead and finish this run, I think, and then switch to my lower level burglar, because I feel like we've tested this pretty thoroughly and overall been a lot more enjoyable. I think more enjoyable because the gameplay is smoother and doing more damage, definitely. So yeah, the increased viability just alone definitely affects the enjoyability, but even if I didn't consider that, the actual playing and mechanics of pressing the skills and all that type of stuff, it's more enjoyable, especially the blue line, the new gamble system. I like it a lot better. One thing I would say though, I wish blind bet maybe didn't require it to be in the crit chain, because it just kind of feels way out of order with that. Like the other two, you don't even need that, and then for that one, you just suddenly do. Kind of feels odd. In these fights, I definitely would rather play redline, so I'm kind of playing a little bit to the advantages of the specs here, and I just like mowed through those mobs super quickly with that, which seems basically what redline does. In blue line, it would definitely, I think, take longer in that fight, but the single target fights against like the signatures a lot quicker in blue line, and now I'm like not even getting my hits, so this last mob is going super slow. I can try the boss. I can just see what happens. We'll try that on blue line. I don't intend to actually kill him, but if I do, it's just kind of a nice benefit. So I need to wait for my morale once again. I can eat food, hear my character munch on it. Let's look at my LI. So the DPS can actually go up a little bit, won't be much. I don't even know, I didn't look at my legacies actually. Feint attack damage. Definitely don't want that. Let's try and replace that, see what else we can get. I don't know why I don't have cunning attack bleed damage. I thought I had that. I'll probably replace feint attack damage with that. I don't care too much about that. Surprise strike from stealth, don't care too much about that myself. Harmful gamble damage, if I main blue line I would definitely want that. Subtle stab damage multiplier. Is that just basically saying it does more damage in a really weird way? Unless it means like critical damage multiplier, which would make more sense, but it just says damage multiplier, so that's kind of odd. But anyway, my morale is restored. So yeah, that's kind of my LI. I think I looked at this before and I wasn't sure exactly why some of my legacies were what they were, even though I thought I had them all fixed. But yeah, we can try this fight. Just simply walking in, I'll lose a lot of morale. So I don't think I will be able to really handle this fight. I wonder if I can add on the boss or riddle. Oh. Okay, so we need to get some healing going on here. That's not gonna happen, yeah. That's about what I expected just because of the ads. If there weren't any ads, it might have gone a little bit better. But yeah, I think that was good to test. I could actually do the turtle real quick. That would be a good one. That way I don't have to worry about survival. Search turtle, it's physical. I can do that, so I don't have to really worry about surviving or anything like that, though. I can just smash my buttons and do some more testing with how it actually plays out. And I think I will do that with the blue line because that's what I'm enjoying more. But after this, we can switch to Anor and my Burglar on there and maybe run like a Great Barrow or something pretty quickly and test out the changes with that. And maybe I can do some tanking and annoy the tanks with I don't even know. I often, whenever I get like a Great Barrow group at that low level though, we don't end up with an actual tank often. So what was I going on? Oh yeah, Knives Out. I could use that just to annoy the tank. Okay, we can go cunning attack. This is another time when I'd really like to have combat analysis, but in basically a longer term fight, that's what I'm trying to see how the blue line will play out. So I apply my gambles here, make sure I get Gambler's Advantage up to 3 stacks and keep on going with the gambles, try to get them really high tier. And then at this point, maybe go ahead and cash out and then reapply the gambles. Got a tier 6 on that, got a nice damaging one. I think the turtle, they recently buffed him, so this is going to be a lot harder than it used to be. I don't expect to really die. I am killing pretty slowly right now. Maybe this does show where red line would be a little bit better. I don't think we can run out and reset anymore. Well, we might be sitting here a while. It's kind of like, I feel like blue line does a lot of damage. And this is kind of where I'm thinking red line would outpace it. I might not be playing blue line too efficiently here. Same thing with red line if I was doing that, but if I had to guess, I want gambles here. I don't have a damaging gambles for some reason. This is when red line would do more damage. Oh no, I re-rolled the tier 4 gamble to a tier 1. That was a very bad gamble. Yeah, that time I re-rolled back up to tier 4. So I'm kind of curious if you can replace. I assume I actually did replace that. Yeah, you can replace it with a lower tier gamble, which is kind of annoying. It makes it a gamble. I have all those tier 2, so I just cash out all those low tiers and try and reapply them. So I guess if I get like a tier 6 damaging gamble, I'd want to not use it, not try to reapply it. So which one's my damaging one? We'll fix that so that's the one I'd actually want it on. Oh wait, we're killing this guy. Those are going slow. I'm gonna go ahead and use a power potion while I'm thinking about. That restored a ton of power. That set me up like to maximum power. I just wasn't expecting that. We can use all in again. Oh, Gambler's Advantage isn't tier 3? I feel like I've been using that a lot for it to not be tier 3. I only need to use it once like every 20 seconds as well. I feel like my damage is picking up a little bit. I don't know if it's just because I've already been sitting here for so long. I actually wouldn't mind him killing me. Yeah, that's doing a ton of damage to me. I actually killed him too slow there. His morale buff... Oh, my cloak is damaged now, but his morale buff actually isn't too bad. I was still pretty easily able to solo him on my Runekeeper afterwards. I didn't notice the biggest difference on him. But with at least my level 106 Burglar and the gear and LI situation, it's definitely noticeable compared to what it used to be. Let's see, he should reappear. Might take just a minute. But yeah, we'll just see how Redline goes. I might die again. It might take a really long time, but it is really nice that you can just sit here and use your skills on this guy. He's like a big target dummy that actually works because the actual target dummies in this game reset like every 15 seconds. I don't think they fixed that at least. But it's really annoying, especially with a class that's dot based. But yeah, it's actually nice that they updated his morale to be even higher because, at least for me, I get to more thoroughly use my stuff on him. It's an even bigger target dummy because of that. Unfortunately, though, his dot does stack to a lot of damage. It was doing... I thought it said 15k. It might have... Yeah, I think it was 15k every 5 seconds. So yeah, here he comes. Go ahead and start stacking dots as well. Use Coup de Grace, all that strong stuff. Got a lot of crits going, so I should be able to use that and double-edged strike a lot. Flashing blades. Kind of my 6, 7, 8, and 9 are my main skills at this point. I need to get cunning attack on him. That's, again, I think I've said that a few times now that I'm not really using that enough. I wonder if the fellowship maneuver stun can stun him. No, because I'm not in a fellowship. But if I actually was in a fellowship, I think it would work on him. Okay, so yeah, we only have tier 1. How did I get that back down to tier 1? It's up to tier 2 again. I wonder if reusing it at tier 3 resets it down to tier 1. And that's what I'm doing. Using it like actually too much. We'll go ahead and test that. Oh no, that went up to tier 4? Thought it was only 3 tiers. Let's see. Tier 5? Okay, this is going kind of crazy. I did not know it would go to tier 5. Looks like tier 5 is the maximum. So if I use it again... let's see. Yeah, that... Okay. I thought it was only 3 tiers. I guess it's 5 tiers now. So that's a lot of damage over time you can get out of it. Okay, we can get back to actually fighting this guy. I'm actually taking a lot more damage in the red line, I noticed. The dot is not nearly as strong as it got on the blue line, but I was still able to survive it in the blue line. But I do feel like I'm doing more damage. Again, I don't know how efficiently I would say I'm playing this. Probably not that great if I just had a guess. I can't see my actual damage numbers, but I still feel like Surprise Strike is kind of weak. Oh, we're back to tier 1 with that. I'll have to look back and see how much damage I did on him in the blue line, but I do feel like even though I'm dying a lot easier that I am doing more damage. Because I do not think I got him down to 1.7k that quickly before. So if I look back real quick, while I'm dead here, I'll go ahead and retreat. Panet Fanny, can you post a video of your rotation? Are you saying like you already have a video uploaded on YouTube and you want to share it? Okay, we did get him down to like 1.4 million on the blue line, but I'm pretty sure it took significantly longer. He just kind of killed me quicker here, which is basically the experience I've had on the red versus blue line. Red line, I wouldn't say doing more damage in landscape, but red line definitely dying quicker, but having a lot of more burst damage, and then it looks like also sustained damage. So medium length fights, I feel like blue line's done more damage, while short length fights, red line, and then also really long fights, red line. But anyway, to get back to your point, yeah, you can post the video of your rotation. But I'm going to switch to Anor, my low-level Burglar, at this moment, so you will probably see that disconnect screen as well. It should connect. OBS should go to this new LOTRO window. There it goes. Of me logging in right here. Yeah, I don't think that YouTube actually lets you post links in my chat. I don't know if there's a setting I have, because somebody else tried to share a link once, I remember. They were saying and they were unable to, and I've looked at my settings and I don't have anything that like disables that, so it might just be like a YouTube thing that completely disables links. I think I can post links. So my Burglar is here in Esteldon, but yeah, I said I could run Great Barrow. I'm not super in the mood for that, so I might just do landscape here pretty quickly. We could see if there's a run that pops up and I might join something, or I could do like maze only or something like that. So you mean the video itself? I don't know, you can try to. If not, you can like message me on Twitter or something, if you have that. Or just share it to me in some other way and I can try to get to it. I don't know where I'm going, but I know there are signature rocks here. And we can try to find them and kill them. They would be good to go. With this, I know blue line did significantly more damage than red line. Oh, the anniversary event. I just got some free XP and anniversary tokens. I actually intend to eventually get to that as well. Been way behind with the content lately. There are some somewhere. Some of the rocks. Okay, well, we can kill some of these regular mobs. So the spec I am in right now is going to be blue line, and I have evade rating, gambler's advantage, burglar bleed damage, so I unlock this next row. So we have damage applying skill damage or just raw melee damage. That one's actually kind of tough, but I'll go with raw melee damage at this point. And then we have one thing to apply a green gamble, and then we also have the red and blue gamble, so both of those are locked, unfortunately, in the crit chain. I talked about that a bit earlier, but I don't like that as much. I feel like the red, blue, and green should just be default. We should just have those out, and they shouldn't really be locked behind that. See, it's really unfortunate with the damaging gamble, because by the time you unlock the damaging gamble, you'll probably kill your enemy. And I feel like the damaging gamble would actually be fairly significant, maybe, at this point. Cunning attack looks a lot weaker than it used to. That used to do a ton of damage as well at this point. There's Lucky Strike. I didn't even get to see what it applied or how much damage it actually did. The gamble from it. So that's kind of frustrating, just in general. We'll go ahead and get aim. I didn't realize I unlocked that. I must have leveled up crafting or something like that. I don't know if crafting just... some way. That did a lot of damage. That killed significantly quicker than it used to. I know I used aim, which could be a little bit of an effect from that. This still looks really crit dependent. Actually, blue line looks crit dependent now with the way the gamble is. I guess it used to be as well. Can I get my rich iron deposit? But yeah, it might be too hard to really thoroughly test this stuff at low level without much longer play session and just generally playing. So I think what I actually can do is I might do a whole separate stream on my low level burglar, with just to get more familiar in playing the lower level one. Okay, so cunning attack still does a lot of damage. That's good to know. I felt like that on my high level burglar, but it used to do, at least at this low level, a lot more. And yeah, if you go in stealth, you get the 2 dots, which is really nice. That's why I try and open with it. I feel like Surprise Strike is really weak at this point. I might be too low level for that at this point. I don't know why it didn't apply to there, but it definitely was applying to on my higher level one. I'm only getting one of them on this character for some reason. It might be because I'm not critting? I don't know. Yeah, if I crit, I apply 2 of them. It's really unfortunate with Surprise Strike, because I feel like if I just like open with it here, it's really weak. And I feel like it should be a main skill, but it's not. And I felt like it used to, like, should be, but never really was, and I still feel like it should be, but it wasn't really updated. I don't even know if I can one-shot a regular mob with it. I feel like at this point, at least, the cunning attack is just better. Okay, I definitely don't have the LI stats. At least on this character. My other burglar LI was pretty bad. We can switch back to blue line. I feel like red line is definitely better though than it used to be at this low level. I'm also not applying reveal weakness, but that's because I'm kind of lazy. It's something I can quickly apply, but I kind of gotta get in the habit of it, I guess, if I don't play burglar much. Like, if I got used to playing my burglar more, maybe I would use it a bit more. Okay, so the damaging gamble is 118. That seems pretty decent at this level. I still feel like it's slightly less than it used to be, which may be intentional. Because I think that did very significant damage along with the cunning attack bleed. But one problem with the... what was I going on about that? I don't know what I was saying the problem was though, but to get back to the chat, yeah, Provoke does more damage than Surprise Strike, which I also find really annoying. And if I want to use something quick like Subtle Stab, it's a lot quicker even if it does slightly less damage. Yeah, the damaging gamble I've noticed is pretty strong at higher tiers. I'm killing stuff really fast at this point, even if I don't get my crits. Oh no, I missed the damaging gamble. Okay, maybe I can use it on this mob real quick. Hopefully it stays open long enough. Oh. Oops. The cash out is somewhat bugged. Are you saying the cash out is somewhat bugged, that it doesn't do enough damage? Because if so, I definitely noticed that. So you get plus 20% cash out damage per tier. And it does 10k damage. 10k damage, I don't know what like the... because I was on a level 106 Burglar earlier. And it didn't do all that much damage, the cash out. The actual cash out damage from the skill cash out was less than the payout damage from the red gamble. But yeah, playing landscape here, I definitely feel like I'm killing quicker. Because it used to be annoying that it was very crit dependent, at least in the red line. It was very crit dependent to do basically any sort of damage here. Cunning attack does a ton of damage from stealth. I kill really quick with that. Probably also would with double edge strike. But yeah, that was really annoying before, and I feel like it's a lot better in red line and blue line. It also helps that I'm actually critting a little bit more, it seems like. I used to get stuck. And I kind of feel like I am getting stuck sometimes now without any crits. It's also really weird having feint attack locked behind double edge strike. I'm so used to playing the higher level Burglar. Yeah, the self-heal from the cash out from the green gamble is pretty strong. I noticed the healing from that was really nice playing the blue line. It's kind of like if I wanted to play the red line, I'd have more difficulty with it. Just because I lose all the healing you get in the blue line. So the green cash out is tier independent. It's kind of weird the way they have it set up. I was hoping it would be pretty simple. Either it is tier dependent or tier independent. It doesn't seem to be just one way based on that. Okay, so I feel like I've killed enough mobs here. Although I am having fun playing the new Burglar, just wandering around killing these random rocks. These mobs are fun to kill anyway. Like if I was just randomly walking around killing mobs, I'd much rather randomly walk around here in North Downs killing all these animals, getting sturdy hides and things like that, than be in Mordor randomly killing orcs. Even though it seems like if I'm playing LOTRO, it should be the opposite. Like you would want to kill orcs in Mordor rather than just the relaxing North Downs area getting sturdy hides and all the stuff from the rocks. But yeah, I think just because I'm doing this same thing and at low level there's a bit less to talk about, I guess, between the two. It's kind of hard to compare them. They feel samey at this point. I don't really notice a significant difference between the two. I suspect blue line would have more survivability at this point, but I haven't really run into an issue with that. I saw the gray one there. There's nothing much about him. Maybe fighting multiple mobs, even blue line could be better at this point because you could stack the dots on your different enemies there. So like I could have those dots going on him, and dots going on this one, and then just switch and kind of chain target like that. And be able to get the full advantage out of the red gamble at this point, which only did tier 2 there. It's still doing a decent amount of damage. Definitely not bad. But yeah, maybe blue line is faster if you go through all this stuff at this point. Yeah, the damage in Gamble, and I also noticed Gambler's advantage was significantly stronger on my high level Burglar. It seems a little bit stronger, it's harder to tell on this low level character. But on the higher level one, I noticed that was a lot stronger Gambler's advantage. And then also Lucky Strike, the red gamble bleed, is like the old Cunning attack because it's a long duration and quick ticking. And Cunning attack still seems strong, it's just a lot less duration, and compared to this low level character specifically, it does less damage than it used to. But the scaling with that I know was way off before, so it used to not scale with weapon damage. So at like low levels I believe it would be pretty strong, then at high levels it would be pretty weak. So it's probably a lot more smooth with that and more balanced. Because I did a ton of damage with it before. Now sitting here wondering why people were so underpowered with their burglars while I was doing a ton of damage with my cunning attack, but I knew with my high level burglar just stuff didn't scale as well. But my low level one was pretty strong before the update even, but still strong now. It's just kind of different strong. A lot of my skills do a lot more immediate damage as well. And cunning attack again isn't weak. It's just a little bit different. Slightly weaker, I guess. But yeah, that is about a good place, I think, to go ahead and start wrapping up the stream. As y'all can see, I'm heading here to Estelna while talking a bit more about the burglar. But I do want to give kind of a summary, I guess, of some of my thoughts and impressions so far. Overall, I would say I like the changes. It feels smoother to play overall. One thing that bothers me is Surprise Strike, I think, should be stronger. I think it's just like a simple flat should be stronger type thing. I really would like if Blind Bet did not have to be locked behind the crit chain, and the same thing with Lucky Strike at low level. I know at high level it changes, but I feel like all three of those should just be base skills and not locked behind the crit chain, and maybe do something a little bit different with that. That would be my personal preference with the blue line, at least. They can maybe make Cash Out locked behind the crit chain. I don't know. I don't know if they would do any of these changes, but I'm just kind of trying to think what could make it a little bit more fun. Maybe not that, but it would just, to me, be really nice if those three weren't locked behind the crit chain. But anyway, you have a burst combination that is aim, CDG, so coup de grace, double edge strike, and all 5 attacks do crit. That sounds really nice. I do, that's kind of what I was doing from stealth. I do aim, then CDG. I would be stealth, aim, CDG, double edge strike, then flashing blades, and it did a lot of burst damage and killed mobs pretty quickly. I made my way all the way to Kingsville here. I don't know why. I guess I'm just on auto run. Need to do something while I'm talking. Can't just sit still and talk. But anyway, with the red line, we can switch to the red line real quick on this character. With the red line, the same thing with Surprise Strike. It should be stronger, I think. And I still feel like Feint Attack, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a lot of passive boost out of it that I'm just not noticing when actually pressing it, but I feel like it could be maybe a little bit more noticeable when I use it. It's just the benefit from stealth you get from it seems so minor. If it actually had like the critical chance, critical damage, and stealth damage boost, it would be a lot more thematic, I think, and be just a better overall design if you got all the bonuses from stealth. And you'd probably have to do some rebalancing around that, but yeah, those are kind of the complaints I have, but the overall impressions is that the Burglar update is good, and I think it is more fun to play, which is definitely important, and it definitely seems more viable as well. So that's good. I'm guessing at high level it's also more viable. Like my level 106 Burglar isn't like level cap that type high level, but more viable on her, definitely killing those Mortar mobs a lot easier than I used to. That stuff used to be a lot more tough, and now it's more like regular landscape stuff, which is pretty nice. And then low level Burglar, I am definitely killing smoother, and it seems that especially in the red line, less required. Like it would just be, I would do very little damage until I unlock the crit chain, which would take kind of forever to unlock at this point. So yeah, that seems a lot better and a lot more fluid overall playing the red line at low level, and the blue line still seems strong at low level. It used to be, still is kind of type thing. So yeah, I'll probably do one more stream at least. I mean, I'll do more streams on my Burglar, but I'm thinking one more stream specifically of this low level Burglar to continue testing the stuff maybe a little bit, and maybe running some instances on this character and just like some sort of leveling stream with her. But yeah, I think that is a good point to wrap this up, and I do want to remind you all that I do have the new microphone, and this is again my first time using it, so I hope that's been okay. To me, when I was doing the testing with it, it sounded pretty similar to the old one. But yeah, I might kind of thinking about doing an unboxing video with it. I recorded that, but might see that coming up basically, and then what do we have else coming up? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, and then Friday. So I can probably stream the next couple days. Actually, it's really weird to me to actually be able to do this type of stuff again, especially I was able to earlier this week, but my microphone wasn't working. But yeah, it's really weird and going to take me a bit back to get used to doing it again. But I think I'll also do an anniversary stream. I am late to that, but maybe do that Friday or something. But tomorrow I would like to get back to my Anor characters, like my Warden or Lore Master, one of those. So that's kind of my tentative plans for tomorrow. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. That would probably be more normal evening time, a little bit later than the stream, and just getting back to schedule will be good for me with that. But anyway, I hope you all did enjoy this stream, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, and thanks for watching and joining, everyone.